Welcome back to First Defense PH, a discussion space about Philippine defense and security. Today we'll discuss the major issues behind the AFP Modernization budget. It's not just about multirole fighter jets, but also a vital support package of AEW&C aircraft and air tankers worth IDR 40 trillion. Without these, Philippine fighter jets could become nothing more than costly, useless assets. Let's dig deeper together at First Defense PH. The Congressional hearing on the Fiscal Year 2026 defense budget revealed important facts regarding how the Armed Forces of the Philippines, AFP, Modernization budget continues to face serious obstacles in its implementation. Representatives from the Department of Budget and Management, DBM, confirmed that as of September 16, 2025, not a single PHP 40 billion in FY 2025 unprogrammed appropriations had been released. This funding was originally intended to provide additional support for priority projects, including the acquisition of strategic weapons systems. The DBM explained that this situation was not solely due to delays in disbursement on their part. In fact, the Department of National Defense, D&D, had not yet submitted a formal request for the release of these funds. This raises a major question. Is this delay due to administrative constraints, or is it a result of careful planning by the defense sector? Furthermore, the DBM representative emphasized that the funding release period is only valid until the end of 2025, although budget obligations can extend until the end of 2026. This means that if the D&D fails to apply for and secure disbursement by the end of the year, the PHP 40 billion in funds could be forfeited as a missed opportunity. Meanwhile, the PHP 35 billion in FY 2025 programmed allocations has also not been fully utilized. Based on data as of July 2025, approximately PHP 9 billion remains unreleased. The DBM emphasized that budget management principles require the D&D to optimize programmatic allocations before accessing non-programmed allocations. In other words, there is still room to maximize the regular budget before relying on additional reserves. Responding to this issue, Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro offered a reasonable explanation. According to him, the reason the D&D has not fully mobilized its available budget is due to multi-year contractual authority, MYCA, considerations. If the D&D signs a major contract like the Multirole Fighter Jet project, the total multi-year commitment could reach PHP 95 billion by FY 2026. This figure far exceeds the PHP 40 billion proposed modernization allocation for that year, potentially creating a risk of unmanageable financing. This is the dilemma at hand. On the one hand, the Multirole Fighter Jet, MRF, project represents the most pressing need to enhance the capabilities of the Philippine Air Force, PAF. But on the other hand, it is also the most expensive acquisition in the AFP's modernization history. According to Thailand's latest contract-based estimate, the cost of a squadron of 20 Gripen E/FS is $2.84 billion US, or approximately PHP 162 billion at an exchange rate of $1 US equals PHP 57. According to the Standard Defense Industry Scheme, a 10% down payment is required to initiate the contract, which is approximately PHP 16 billion. This figure is already higher than the PHP 9 billion still held back from the FY 2025 programmed allocation. In other words, The PAF cannot initiate the fighter jet contract solely on the remaining budget. Furthermore, this cost does not include crucial support packages such as weaponry, training, and supporting infrastructure. The Philippines is also considering purchasing 2 airborne early warning and control (AEW&C) aircraft and 2 aerial refueling tankers, estimated to cost around PHP 40 billion in total. This support package is absolutely necessary for the MRF to operate optimally and not simply become an expensive, toothless asset. Therefore, Minister Teodoro emphasized the importance of cross-agency support, particularly from the DBM and the Department of Finance (DOF). He underscored that the DND needs assurance of a ready-to-disburse cash reserve once the MRF contract is signed. Without such assurance, the country's financial risks could skyrocket, while foreign contractors also need certainty of payment. Furthermore, another strategy being discussed is the implementation of a long-term financing scheme involving the supplier government. In the case of the Saab Gripen, for example, the Swedish government could provide a more flexible long-term financing facility, thus reducing the burden on the MYCA in the early years of the contract. This scheme allows the Philippines to initiate acquisitions without having to immediately commit large sums of money up front. However, this ultimately depends on the Philippine government's ability to balance modernization needs with fiscal constraints. When even the regular budget is not fully utilized, let alone unplanned additional allocations, public confidence and the defense community will continue to question whether these delays are due to bureaucracy or a prudent fiscal strategy. Whatever the reasons, one thing is clear. Without concrete steps, the Multirole Fighter Jet project, which should symbolize the rise of Philippine air power, risks further delay. If this happens, the credibility of AFP Modernization, particularly Horizon 3, could be eroded, while security challenges in the region continue to escalate year after year. It's clear that defense modernization isn't just about buying fighter jets. Without AEW&C and tankers, the Gripen, or whatever aircraft the Philippines chooses, won't operate optimally. This is the dilemma between strategic needs and budget constraints. What do you think? Should the Philippines take a big step now, or wait until everything is ready? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on other important discussions only on First Defense PH. See you in the next analysis.